Welcome back to some more Katawa Shoujo. Again, it's been a day since I recorded last, but it's been, I think, at least 2 weeks since any of you guys have seen any content as of today. By the time you're seeing this, it must be weeks and weeks later. Hi. I turned on the camera for this one. I wasn't going to, but I think we're nearing the finale session soon because everything's starting to work out. So, yeah, I figured I'll just go camera and try to finish today. Really hard because I have to leave in 2 days and I haven't edited anything yet. And I know that there's a lot of episodes that I still need to edit, so I'm doing that tomorrow and maybe some today. So I still have a lot to do. I still need to pack. I still need to do all kinds of stuff, and I'll be gone for another month. So I need to get through this. Am I in the middle of a conversation? Why did I leave? Oh, okay, this is the beginning of the next day. And remember, you have to take this job seriously. Too many people think you can just slack off, and that it isn't important. That is a dangerous way of thinking. Definitely, you can't take it too seriously. If you aren't always thinking big, thinking positive, and if you show any signs of weakness, people will start to think you're incompetent, you know? And soon, you won't be able to do anything because your power is just going to be delegated off to other people piece by piece. You're left with nothing. And that's what happened last time. So, remember, it may seem like an easy job, and a lot of carnage can happen in this room. And out of it. Okay, are we talking to like a potential new candidate or something? Dealing with the school staff, too. Even trying to budget report from a class rep can be a fight to the death, sometimes. Yeah, it's kill or be killed. There are no friends in the pits, and you take no prisoners. Are you sure about this? Is this right? You don't seem excited enough. I have to make sure it's getting through properly. Once more, with feeling. Oh, we're practicing. Oh, okay. No, they're actually cute. Shizune twists her hands like a maestro for emphasis, visibly intimidating the two girls standing in attention in front of us. To think all this started because one of them asked if she was taking her job too seriously. Do you understand? Do you understand? Pretend I'm shouting it. Oh, okay. The student council's so weird. Yes, sir. Sir? Who are you guys talking to anyway? It's not weird. You have to think of it as a job, if you want. Think of it as like they're paying you with the right to use this great office. You want another lecture? No. You can go now. Damn. Just like that, the hour-long student council orientation is over. Personally, I thought it was about 50 minutes too long, and found it funny when it incorporated a tour of the school that we had all been going to for a while, but I guess it didn't hurt. I expect Shizune to fall back in her chair since she has been on edge all day, but she doesn't. She continues pacing around the room restlessly. They still have a long way to go. Right now, they're a joke. Eh? What? They think they can be in the new student council. They're so unfocused. You can really see the lack of experience. This was our best year yet. I don't think they have what it takes to be our follow-up act. And I know there are more of them than those two girls. Where are they? Like they're heavily marketed, mediocre, big budget, critically planned sequel to the acclaimed low-budget sleeper hit. Eventually, she does stop and sit down. Are you gonna miss it? Obviously. I'd be happy if I didn't have to leave too. I like being the student council, even if it can be tiring too. Yeah, it's definitely tiring. Only because Shichan is always trying to do more than she has to. You're forgetting that if I did the bare minimum, we wouldn't do anything all year except hand out flyers, collect surveys, and plan the next student council election so the next student council could sit around for another year and do nothing. God, that was a mouthful. I didn't have to do that. She doesn't speak. Asking me to let that happen? Don't be ridiculous. In a student council like that, there wouldn't even be any power to play with. I'm just happy that that even though I clearly need to ride them harder, those two aren't bad. Not there yet, but the new student council should be in good hands. How can you tell? After the festival, they asked me if we could also organize a Halloween event, like a haunted house or something along those lines. They had a bunch of other ideas as well. Of course, my response was no. I had Misha tell them to do it themselves. If they wanted it so badly, they were angry, for some reason. Of course they'd be angry if you said that, and Misha delivering the message wouldn't help. I was angry too. All of a sudden they wanted so much. If they wanted a haunted house or a traditional style cafe or a trip to the beach or whatever cliche thing, why didn't they try to organize it before? It was like they were taking advantage of me. I worked hard to organize those festivals, and in return they came to me with, that was nice, but can you do this now? How about doing this? It's really what I want. It's what I really want. Shichan was wrong, though. Right. They wanted to join the student council so they can make it happen. I made them feel jealous and riled them up. That could be kind of motivation too. They desire to do something great spreads, even if it's to show me up. They decided to take me up on the challenge nonetheless. I'm impressed. Well, for now. I would have to see how it plays out a little longer in order to know for sure. She snaps her fingers suddenly, which sends Misha almost bolting out of her seat. Interesting. I guess it is possible to get used to. Impossible? Yeah, impossible to get used to. That's right. We were going to have a party to celebrate the passing the reins to the new student council, weren't we? Why not have that now? Or at least plan it now, and have it tomorrow. But they're not even in charge yet. In fact, that's the first thing you told them. You're not in charge yet. It seems premature. Misha, what do you think? I agree. It's too early. Plus, I don't think I can go anyway. Sorry. In fact, I was gonna leave right now. Why not? No comment. Come on, tell me. Well, okay. Way to not crack under pressure, Misha. I thought about it, and even if I didn't want to go, I would say yes. Usually, it's the kind of person I am. I really should stop doing that, and it's a good place to start, I think. If it's really a celebration to say goodbye, I don't want it. It would be too sad. I want to do something else instead. After all, Hichan, you and Shichan will still be here tomorrow. It doesn't seem right. Besides, I have other school things I have to do today. I can't drop them just like that. We can postpone it. No early goodbyes. She looks very firm as she says this. Aren't you going to go now, though? Oh, that's right. Okay, besides now. No too early goodbyes, okay? I get it. Okay, later. With that, it's just Shizune and me left alone in the student council room. I know I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I want to fuck in the student council room. It just seems so fitting. I'm sorry. This is rude, and I'm using her as an object. That's wrong. But we have been fucking in this game, and we did it in her family home. I think it's only fair to do it in the student council room. Sorry. Sunset slowly changes to night as we sit in silence, both searching for something to say. Would it really be that bad? Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but Misha's right. Parties set a mood, and it would be a sad one. A sad party doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. Why would it be sad? Is it a trick question? I'm sure of it. Shizune's eyes pierce into mine, waiting for my answer with a detached, analytical stare that I haven't seen in a while. But it feels familiar, anyway. I consider my answer carefully, but also what it means for her to ask me. It would be that Shizune finds it depressing as well, or it could be that she doesn't understand why anyone would find it depressing. Both are equally plausible. I had a thought that when you graduate, that's it. It's going to be the end of the student council, and I was wondering if you had the same idea. Don't be stupid. I look forward to it. I won't be a student anymore, so the expectations are going to be completely different. People's expectations of me and my expectations about everything else, it seems exciting. As for the student council, it should be good enough hands. I don't have anything to be sad about. I don't think you're being honest. You looked upset when you having to give the student council up, not even a few weeks ago. It wasn't about leaving it to a bunch of newbies either. It was about having to stop doing student council work at all. Unexpectedly, Shizune smiles. So you're not disagreeing. Then it doesn't make sense. Why would you want to have a party about it? I'm trying to get over it. Besides, goodbye celebrations are very important. People say the first step is the most crucial, but following it through and finishing cleanly are just as important, right? I guess that is true. Anyway, I don't consider it a goodbye, but it's still an event. You still have to go through the proper motions. Aren't you going to? Aren't I going to what? Kiss me, of course. Oh my. Is that the proper motion? Is that the proper motions? It would be normal, wouldn't it? It's the natural thing to do. It's time to act decisively. If I don't, I'm sure my heart will explode. Yes, I kiss her immediately, so quickly that I don't even have time to enjoy it. Brother, don't do that. Even though she was prepared for it, Shizune blushes a deep red, and I feel similar heat rising in my neck and cheeks. Are we doing it? Oh my god, I was right. Let's go. This is actually a very pretty scene. So, I move in for another kiss, but as I do so, she moves backwards at the same time, and impishly jumps onto the cabinet behind her. Alone in the total silence of the room, we just look at each other for a while. Damn, HISAO. This time I kiss her more deeply. Her lips are light and dry, and open a tiny bit. I'm only able to appreciate the sensation for a moment before Shizune starts kissing me back forcefully. Her bang cheeks brush against my closed eyelids as I let myself sink deeper into the kiss. I could feel the shape of her body through her clothes, which only makes me hold Shizune tighter. Oop. It takes some effort for both of us to draw back and from each other. We're both blushing, both from the kiss and the thoughts of what's to come, and I'm far from the only one breathing a little heavier. Shizune begins to take off my tie. Okay, I know I said it earlier, but this is a little weird. The fact that there's a window there and anybody could see is crazy. That's all I'm saying. Shizune begins to take off my tie, start undoing her blouse. It takes a while to figure out, and I've never really thought about how our school's blouses work before. Yeah, there's no buttons. What do you do? Shizune's blouse is a little tight on her, and her arms get stuck for a moment because of it. I find myself peeling it off of her, although with the way she's trying to wriggle out of it at the same time, it isn't easy. The sight is a little comical. Damn. Once Shizune's arms are free, she slides out of her shirt, her skirt falling around her knees with it after she unhitches it and works it off her legs. The only thing covering her now are her bra and panties. Her figure is curvaceous and taut. It's a weird way to say it. And the healthy color of her skin contrasts with the black of her underwear. It's a wonderful sight, especially against the background of the moonlight through the window. She looks at my chest, and oh shit, she doesn't know about our thing yet. We haven't told her, and we were clothed last time. She looks at my chest and works the unbuttons of her shirt one by one. The process is greatly slowed by my hands moving up and down her thighs. It is a little amusing to play with her like this. Okay, she didn't react to the scar on her chest. We're winning. Eventually, finally, my shirt falls to the ground. Shizune surprises me quickly by pulling me in deep for a kiss without warning, but I quickly return the gesture. So she didn't even look. Okay. Why are you bolder today than on the roof? On the roof? Or in your room? I try to think of it as a good answer, but it isn't easy. How would I be able to respond to that even if I could? There's no way to, unless I were to say that bureaucracy really puts me in the mood. Look, I've been saying it. I wanted to do it here, bro. I'm sure he was too. They're just a fantasy, you know. You're doing it with the student council president in the student council room. Shit. My shirt having been disposed of, Shizune moves on to my belt. She still hasn't noticed our scar, and I decide to help her undo it instead of answering the question. I didn't think it would be much good at this point. What is she talking about on the roof? We didn't do anything on the roof, did we? And in our room, I don't even know, right? It's hard to get off and falls to the ground with a metallic clunk. I move in for another kiss and begin to slide my hand up to her side. Eventually, she lurches forwards, making me stumble backward. The stiff edge of the table behind me was the furthest thing from my mind until it felt it stabbing into my lower back. I hadn't even noticed that it was there. It makes me grab Shizune a little tighter as we fall back onto the surface of the table. Whoa, okay. Alright. Alright, just a reminder for everybody, we censor these things. Just for obvious reasons, but I will explain what's going on. Her tits are just out. I don't know when we took off her bra, but her tits are out. And her ass, I don't know if we have to censor her ass. There's still clothes. I think that's fine. Anyway, I hold back a sigh as Shizune victoriously holds herself above me. She's won again. I'm distracted until Shizune's bra falls off on me. Okay, there it is. Seemingly like it dropped out of the sky. I end up laughing despite how hard I try not to. And it's contagious enough that Shizune starts to as well. That's just a weird thought that laughing is like contagious in real life, right? But is it contagious when you can't hear it, but you see it? Do you still laugh? That's strange. I guess she also just thinks it's funny. Freed from her bra, her breasts are larger than I thought. Yeah, they look very big here. I know you can't see them, but they look large. They're larger than I thought. Even though they were noticeably large through her shirt already, she picks up her bra with her fingers and flicks it off my hands and move on over her body. Does she have the biggest tits of every character, besides like Misha? Maybe Lily. I would imagine Lily or Misha. They're like bigger, but Shizune is probably third place. Because Hanako, Rin were very small, and Emi is definitely the smallest. I would think it's probably like Emi, Hanako, Rin, Shizune, Lily, Misha? Probably? Mishas are massive. Anyway, freed from her bra, breasts are larger than I thought. Whatever. Straddling me with her knees on the table, Shizune slips her underwear off with my hands moving from her hips unconsciously to help her. I catch a glimpse of my watch. It's only been a few minutes, but it feels like so much longer. What if Misha just walks in right now? She eases herself downwards, closer and closer until their bare chests are touching. Her breast feels strange against the scar over my heart. Okay. Okay, we have to have a moving blur here. Or something. Or maybe we just blur the whole screen. No, but I can't blur the whole screen. That's fucked up. Because she has a cute face, but I do have to blur the fucking text box now. That's sick. When Shizune sits up, I feel myself slipping inside, slowly enveloped by her below as her breasts lift away from my torso. An attack from two fronts. I think dryly, considering the situation. How like her. How like her. I should just stop now and leave you stewing in your lust, she says as she starts grinding herself against me, causing me to blink at the sudden pleasure. Very funny, Shizune. I soon lose track of my thoughts. Again, she hasn't mentioned the scar on her chest. Oh, that's just her speaking. Shizune bites her lip to muffle her voice from coming out. An unwanted voice. This is the most I've ever heard of it. And she blushes once again. She realizes she let it slip out. To cover it up, Shizune drives herself against me harder, causing me to jolt against her, driving my erection deeper into her. I thrust my hips towards her at the sudden sensation of movement, and Shizune fights against me, trying to pin me back down when I manage to pull my arms out from under me. In that moment, her hips thrust back with even greater force in response. The sound of Shizune's soft, restrained moans, and the sight of her bountiful breasts moving up and down. Sorry, just bountiful breasts is so funny to me. Moving up and down each time her hips buckle against mine, grow more arousing with the time in the stillness of the student council room. I can't take it anymore. The pleasurable sensations welling up between my legs, multiplied by the pressure of Shizune's weight on top of me, make it hard for me to think. My hips start buckling by themselves. Once again, I just want to point out, because I brought this up before, he's had protection on him. When he goes to Hanako, he's got the condom locked. He didn't even know he was fucking when he got there. He has it on him at all times. He just never uses it except the one time with Hanako. I think that's really funny. I almost can't take it anymore. The pleasurable sensations welling up between my legs and buckling themselves. Shizune's hands push mine down onto the table. Every motion of hers is a push of some kind. The table under us rattles under our combined weight. I doubt that it would collapse, but the noise is really something. Not that Shizune notices. The deaf bitch. Sorry. Her pace only grows faster until it feels as though she might shove me across the table with how forceful she's being. Without warning, her movements come to a full crescendo. Suddenly, she stops, almost falling onto me with enough... Sorry, I thought that was the door opening. Falling onto me with enough speed that she didn't catch herself. It would probably have knocked us unconscious, the worst situation possible if someone happened to walk in while we were knocked out. I'm surprised, but not enough to forget that we're both naked and the sudden, painful interruption that just happened. Why did this have to happen? Was it intentional to leave me stewing in my own lust? Shizune lets out her breath sheepishly, realizing at the same time as I do. Oh, she's just nude. Sorry, I tripped. Or slipped. Something like that. Is this the first time we're seeing a character, like, on their normal model, but naked? This is crazy. I had a thought. Is the door unlocked? She quickly gets off the table and bolts over to check and locks it. Unlocks it and locks it again, pulling on the knob just to make sure. When she's finally sure, she makes an out-of-place motion with her hands. Safe. I'm glad you can take things so lightly. I didn't do it on purpose. Why don't you take the lead then? Also, there's windows, guys. You can see through the windows. Come on. I grab Shizune by the shoulders. This is like the most interactive sex scene we've had. Normally they happen and then they're done. This is crazy. I grab Shizune by the shoulders and try to put her on the table instead. Her brow scrunches in displeasure as the edge of the table pokes her in the back, just as it did to me. She opts to help herself onto it. Oh yeah, we're just going. This is a long one. This is also the first time I've seen Shizune lying down unclothed. The contours of her collarbones and breasts are beautiful, and my eyes followed them down to her shapely hips, a delicate hourglass figure. Why shouldn't she taking her glasses off, bro? I run my hand along the curve of her body from the shoulders down. I slowly insert myself into Shizune up to the hilt. Up to the hilt is so funny. An intense warmth and lightness immediately surround me, and I start pistoning her. Into her pistoning, bro? Your vocabulary is insane. And pick up where we left off before. Her body feels so hot against my skin. Each time our hips meet with a thrust, and we're holding each other, I feel like I'm being scalded by her body heat. On top of that, I feel more sensitive now than before. I find myself pushing into Shizune harder to make up for it. My hand glides around the curve of her thigh, and I carefully tease her with my hand as well. almost losing my balance when she reacts strongly, snapping upwards and back into my groin and nearly pushing us both to the floor. Moving my hands up, I grab her prominent breasts and fondle them. Prominent breasts? Bro, can you just say her breasts? Like, you don't need to give an adjective. It's just funny. I fondle them as I always wanted to. Yeah, they feel even larger than they appear. What the fuck? And overflow my hands in soft and perfectly shaped. She squirms under me as I flick my fingers over her nipples and twists her arm around mine instead, gripping my fingers and drawing me closer. I feel like I'm wrestling her. The lock is inescapable. From the time our hands met, I guess we were connected. Whether it's through her pulling me from one student council event to another or holding hands as lovers, I think it's been the same. The confidence that comes across in the way she grasps my hand. Her hands writhe across the surface of the table and grabbing onto it, she hooks her legs around my back, pressing us closer, connecting us even more closely and entrapping me inside her. Entrapping is not a good term right now. Her inner walls I just fucking goddamn it. Her inner walls are so hot and tight, and with her pushing up against me, the friction only increases, sending me over the top. Ooh, there it is. All too soon, the feeling ends, and all I can do afterwards is stay inside her with my hands holding onto the table, both for lack of energy and because her legs. Sorry, I tried seeing if he had a scar. He does. Lack of energy because her legs are still locking me in. For Shizune's part, she smiles, almost dreamily. The sight makes me smile as well. Her legs slowly fall, allowing me to extract myself. Exhausted, I lean back onto the desk and try to regain my breath before putting my clothes back on. I notice a dull, hot throbbing in my chest as I button my shirt back up, and it puts a bad aftertaste on everything that just happened. It was a lucky break that Misha couldn't be here, wasn't it? You're in an unusually joking mood today. I wonder what she had to do. Watch us through the window, imagine. Shizune traces the air lazily with a finger and points to the door. Go see for yourself. Is she crying outside? Why don't you just tell me? It's more interesting if you see for yourself. Seeing is believing. Sure, clever. Maybe I will. What about you? You gonna stay here all day? It's getting late. Feels like my last day as student council president, so I'll sleep here tonight. It could be the last chance I have to sleep at my desk after a long day trying to meet a deadline. That's weird. I'll sleep in my bed. Sleeping sitting up is a skill, a very useful one. Right,